F1 Baku, guys. Back to Baku. It's a pretty exciting. It's always one of my favorite races, guys. It has biggest straight. Cars were going up like 340 kilometers per hour. It's quite insane. And honestly, red is the color to talk about. Red flags everywhere. Ferrari getting pole position. It was crazy. It was crazy. It's 4 red flags in the whole session. So, what do you guys think about that so far? I mean, it is what ended up giving Leclerc that pole position with that last minute crash by Tsunoda. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that? All these red flags going on and kind of jeopardizing Quali 2, Quali 1, Quali 3 even, and even in Monaco too.
I mean, I'm just happy that it's not Mercedes at pole. I'm just happy. Well, I mean, look, I think if you had told anyone last year that a Mercedes car would be in 10th place in anything, even in practice, it would be unheard of. I think more than ever, the fact that it's not a kind of locked in Hamilton 1, Bottas 2, and then whoever 3 and 4, and it's usually Max 3. I think the fact that there is some excitement, I think is good for the sport. Obviously not a fan of all the red flags, but even then, I mean, compared to how boring Monaco was last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm just happy that there's some form of excitement. Like, it was so boring just watching nothing happen. Like, barely any takeovers, barely any crashes. Not that I want crashes for like the driver's safety, but I don't
a little crashing. It's not a bad thing,
Especially with the tech
I'm
car,
just happy there's
it's safety cars. So, oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do get it. Monaco, I mean, it is one of the most exciting careers because it's Monaco. It's a gorgeous circuit, but there were no overtakes. I think the only overtake that I saw was at the beginning. It's boring that way. I totally get it. Seb, what do you think about the whole Leclerc getting up on the top position there?
It's a good couple of weeks from Charles right there. Obviously, he was sort of had that pole taken away from him because he made the mistake himself, but had that taken away from him in Monaco to then come back 2 weeks later, put it straight back on pole again. I think is impressive. As a Lewis fanboy, I'm still pleased. I'm pleased to see that my boy Lewis has managed to pull something out of his arse yet again. And I mean, Max Verstappen is Max, so he's always going to get in that top 3. I think the big surprise for me, Pierre Gasly. This guy this season for AlphaTauri he's having the season of his life. I mean, obviously coming out of Red Bull, step back down. There was a lot of focus on that move. And I think it probably hits confidence a lot to then sort of come back last season and this season to keep it going. He's had some really good results. So I think big kudos to Pierre for that. Just a general really exciting qualifying again.
No, that's true. I mean, Pierre Gasly is kind of like the guy that you kind of want to say he's an underdog, but he's been doing so well that is he really? He's after the top 6 teams. Like you got them, and it's. You beg to bring the question about Tsunoda. Like, yeah, he did well now, but besides all the circuits before, it's been Pierre Gasly, and he's been doing really well. He matched his highest quali at 4th. He's a guy to be afraid of. The car is good. It's quite intense. French representative.
Yeah, but then on the flip side, I think Seb brought up a candidate who's been, above expectations. On the other side of the table, you have Daniel Ricciardo, man. I love the guy. I think he's such a great personality.
Yeah.
13th with the same car that is currently 9th, or has or historically has been usually top 5. Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if he just doesn't know how to shift the gear. Maybe it's a different gearbox. I don't know exactly the details to why he's been underperforming so badly. But something needs to change. Either they need to do special kind of tweaks to match his driving style, or this is just going to be another case of just underperformance for a whole season. And it's very hard once the kind of driver loses that confidence to kind of go back to top tier performance. I mean, look at Vettel, right? I mean, Vettel. I mean, he has his little Aston Martin car, but the guy went from trying to compete with Hamilton to just mid mid-table
I mean, Ben's
mediocrity.
scoring points. Yeah.
Barely
I will
scoring points.
say
The guy's super happy when he has like 1 point on the board.
I will say they're sipping it up. I mean, to me, I was quite upset with the whole Aston Martin revamp because that's the racing point of last year, and they were doing so well. They got the third place there. It's third or fourth, I believe. For them to go just low and lower and lower and having Vettel there, it's kind of shitty there. But at the end of the day, you have Vettel. Just speaking about the red flags incidents, Vettel got stolen the entrance to Q3 because of a crash. Again, he was, I believe he was from 10th, like maybe 300ths of a second. It's kind of
Close. Yeah,
they're
it's
improving.
tough, but that's just how it goes sometimes, isn't it? I mean, you look at Monaco last week. 2 weeks ago, Max was on that flying lap when Charles binned it. I mean, obviously he took the pole anyway because they couldn't fix the car, but teams lose out. That's the fun of the racing, man. That's how it goes. I need to do one shout out as well for one more Brit because George Russell in that Williams putting it into Q2 yet again, Mr. Saturday. What a guy. Put him in that Mercedes next year. Get rid of Bottas. Let's get George in the Mercedes. And then we're going to have...
I'm glad you brought that. Not to, overshadow the George Russell. He's been doing great. I love the kid. I love what he does. I love his grit. I love how, even with that incident with Bottas a while back, he wants to win. He's in Williams, but he wants to win. But I'm glad you brought up Bottas, though, because, Kumar brought up the fact that he's 10th, right? But what's really important to take away from this is, okay, Hamilton got second, Bottas got 10th. The big difference and what happened there is it was a poor strategy. So what they did, I don't know if you guys saw, but what they did is on Q3, Mercedes was struggling the whole time. Like they were behind Red Bull, Ferrari. So they were like, okay, we have to do something different. They brought out Bottas first to kind of like baby Hamilton through the lap and then get him some like airstrip towards that big straight at the end. And that got Hamilton the second position. So 2 points from that. One, you have the airstream support from Bottas and you still can't make pole. And then two, when are you gonna realize that you're not the main driver at Mercedes, Bottas? When are you gonna realize
they don't care about you.
Might be somewhere else.
Yeah.
They were gonna do it for Bottas, but the crash happened. But it's like,
But then that does raise the question, though. So if we're kind of, I think it's unanimously agreed upon that he is not very good first driver of Mercedes because as long as Hamilton's there, that's just his spot. But is he good enough to be the top driver? Obviously, I mean Red Bull. I think Max in Ferrari. I think is fairly locked in too. But maybe McLaren, would he move there? Would he replace Ricciardo? Like is Bottas just fate is just being a really good second driver for the career? Or do you think at some point he needs to kind of take that opportunity to be the first driver? Because I mean, maybe not last year, but 2 seasons ago, he was honestly, he had driving feats. I know Hamilton won, but if you actually look at like the quality of the points earned, Bottas was doing way better. His driving was cleaner, crispier. There's so many times where he had to retreat a bit just to let Hamilton win the points because he's the first, right? So do you think at some point in the future we'll see him as the first driver for another team?
If I'm being brutally honest, no. I don't see him. He was taken from Williams, so the only chance I see is maybe they do a flip with Williams, with Russell and Bottas. But besides that, look, I don't know if you guys saw the Netflix documentary, The Driver to Success. I've seen different comments about, and I've seen even driver comments saying that it's not really that realistic, and Netflix makes it a little bit more dramatic than what it really is. But if it does have some truth to it, Bottas has always been kind of like the guy that was like chill. Like he looked like the guy is like, okay, yeah, whatever, as long as our team is winning, it's fine. But at some point, you're behind the second position. You're seeing Hamilton's butt in front of you, and you wanna win, and you do those sneaky little things that you did in a few races back, And look, I admire the grip, but at the end of the day, Mercedes changed the car completely changed the car from 1 year to the other because of the regulations from the FIA, and it really hurt them. but Hamilton's still fighting for it. So it's like, is it the experience that allows you to get back into the car and the groove and really understand, adapt, or is it just pure talent?
I think this is the thing that Bottas has had the same car that Hamilton has been winning consistently every single week with, and he's just not made that much of a dent. Like, yes, I know there's been some occasions where team orders come into place, but actually going to have to kind of step back and let Hamilton take the win for the good of the team. But if he was consistently winning, it would be the other way around, and they would be making Hamilton doing that move for him. So I just unfortunately, I don't think he's got it to be world champion. I think he is destined to be the second fiddle. It would be interesting to see him go to another team and see sort of what he does, but I don't think he's ever going to be challenging for titles. No, personally, anyway.
I don't think so either.
Are we ready to make ambitious predictions about who we think is gonna win?
Cool. Or the championship.
No, Baku. Yeah, I mean championship. We still got a while. Do you have someone in mind?
So, I mean, I don't see Mercedes winning this one unless they do another like big strategy kind of like destruction. But I saw Leclerc's lap. The one that, and even he was shocked. Everyone was shocked. And I saw the lap, and it's like people were saying that he had Airstream support or anything. No, the car just did it. I don't know what happened. The turns were great, I guess. But he was pretty ahead, and he sits comfortable there. It's gonna be tough when it's 3 different cars in the top 3. 3 completely different cars with no support really. But I believe if Leclerc doesn't crash, and he keeps to his being like fully, structured and a good driver, then he can take it. He can take the first win for Ferrari. So my bold prediction, well, not bold. I mean, he is bold. My prediction is Leclerc. Leclerc stays there.
Fab?
Omar, what do you think?
Oh, well, I mean, I am team #anyone but Hamilton, so I'm really happy with potential, 2 candidates that we have in our top 3 right now in podium. But look, I mean, I think with Baku, just because of how the race is structured, it definitely rewards aggressive drivers. Just because the whole race is high risk, high reward. All the corners, all the edges. It is. I mean, that's why Ricardo historically and Tell, because they brake really late in these corners and they just cut and push the people aside. So with that logic in mind, Max is the most aggressive driver of them all. Ambitious, bold, just like if I die, I die. So I have to go with Max here.
Yeah. Look, I just want to put a caveat here. Just as Seb, you guys all know I'm a big Hamilton fanboy, #1 simp and everything. But at the end of the day, like, I really did not like when I started not liking Verstappen was literally this circuit when he crashed into Ricardo. And I've always said he's a reckless driver because of that same reason. He does not care.
There's been multiple incidents.
Yeah, he's gotten better.
Yeah.
But
he's gotten better. He has gotten a lot better. It's more control.
Yeah, you can see it in the interviews. He's way more composed. He's grown up. So I'll give that to him. I'm still Hamilton all the way. He's an excellent driver, goat. So let's move on. Seb, what's your prediction?
It's tough. It's tough. In my heart, I want to say that Lewis can do something fun and crazy. But I agree. I don't think the Mercedes, it just doesn't seem to perform well on these street circuits. So I don't see Lewis pulling this one out the bag. I would like to think that he can maybe give Charles a bit of a hand and keep Max behind him for as long as possible. Because I'd quite like to see Charles get this first win of the season. So I'll go for Charles as well. I'll go for Charles.
All right, 2 Charles, 1 Max.
All right,
Yeah.
Well, that's it for our segment here with F1. Hopefully, we saw the qualies just a few hours ago. Tomorrow's the race, so let's see where it ends up. You made a good point, Seb. Mercedes is just not performing in the street races, so let's see what they can do. And hopefully, Leclerc
This is the
gets
thing. I think
an Italian win.
we've got the potential for, like I said, you got Gasly up there. Norris isn't too far behind. He's had a good season. Tsunoda in top 10. Who knows? We could have a maiden winner, maybe. Who knows?
More flags, more safety cars.
Yeah.
Who knows?